Laval, this is a Marquette team that has won 8 of their last 9 games.
Yeah, it's also a Marquette team, Matt, that's been on the road 3 out of the last 4. And Coach Smart had his team, reminded his team how exciting it is to play in Fiserv Forum and come back home to tip. So we'll see how they handle the response from a loss, but also the excitement of being back.
David Joplin from downtown. He had 6 of those in the first meeting with Depaul earlier this year.
And he was a key for Marquette's run when they rattled off 8 in a row. Joplin had 6 double-figure games in those 8 games. Really important for their offense and their balance.
Here comes Tyler Kolek. Gives it off to Joplin. And now Depaul, still in search of their first Big East win of the season. They have lost 26 in a row in league play during the course of the regular season.
And Matt, I was impressed at the shoot-around. I know we talked about it. The energy from this Depaul Blue Demon team, in spite of the way the season's gone, was really impressive.
Stevie Mitchell looking like an NFL wide receiver. One-hand catch, flips it in.
Speaking of impressive, the catch and finish all in one motion.
No, but you're right. This Depaul team, maybe a little bit of a renewed sense of energy with Chico Carter back in the lineup. Carter, of course, missing a month of time with a cracked rib. Still not 100%. As he takes it to the cup here, too heavy. And the rebound tracked down by Joplin.
Coach Brady talked about just Chico Carter's presence back on the court, a calming influence for the Blue Demons in terms of the poise that they play with.
Jones off the curl was fouled by Chico Carter. And Shaka Smart, we asked him about what he felt really worked for his team, Laval, during that 8-game win streak. Obviously, offensively, they were terrific. They shot over 50% from the floor, 40% from 3, assisted on over 50% of made field goals. But he talked about the defensive effort and really being disruptive on that side of the floor.
Yeah, when they're at their best, Matt, they turn you over. That's the thing that they hang their hat on, getting deflections, causing disruption to the opposing team's offense. And it's something that if you're going to play Marquette, the first thing on the top of the scout board is take care of the basketball, because they get a lot of offense from their defense.
No doubt about it. They are one of the best in the country at turning turnovers into points. Nearly 19 per game off turnovers. That's top 10 in the country.
And that'll be crucial for the Depaul Blue Demons. No Jalen Terry tonight, so you really only have one ball handler in Chico Carter, who's still not quite at 100%. Elijah Fisher, Jaden Henley, a lot of the ball handling responsibility will fall on those 2 players.
Carter pops and puts it in. Coming off his first game in over a month against Providence. Had 8 points in 26 minutes off the bench.
This Marquette offense so difficult to guard and keep in front. Really spread you out and have multiple actions. The ball changes sides of the floor. It's difficult to keep everyone accounted for at all times.
Oh, that's a nice physical play underneath by Deshaun Nelson. He's making back-to-back starts for the first time since January as Oso Ighodaro takes the 2-hand jam to the cup.
Strong finish by Oso Ighodaro. He was giving me a hard time because he heard me say Josh Odoro is one of the better bigs in the Big East Conference, which he is, but I think he took that personally.
Well, his teammate Tyler Kolek certainly did. Came over here and told you that they had that on repeat in the locker room. Look at Matt Brady, who is named the interim head coach on January 22nd after the school parted ways with Tony Stubblefield. And he, Laval, has really tried to every day institute spirit, energy, competitiveness as Mitchell puts in the second 3 of the game for the Golden Eagles. It's
a difficult position to be in, Matt. Taking over as the interim season. Not ideal by any means, but Coach Brady's done a tremendous job. And again, you can tell at their shoot around, no heads are hanging, no pity parties going on. Guys are just trying to absorb the information the coaching staff is giving them and get better and looking for a breakthrough.
Carter rejected by Iguodaro. And numbers for the Golden Eagles. 3-ball Joplin.
And Tyler Kolik's so good at that. Just his ability to pass off of the dribble, one-handed across the court. His vision's elite, but his deliveries are special.
8-0 Marquette run. Here's Fisher. Fisher tries a three. Rebound Churchill Abbas, who has gotten more playing time under the new interim head coach Matt Brady, even being inserted into the starting lineup for the first time under the new interim head coach.
When you look at his size, it's the first thing that stands out. He's a large man for a freshman. He's got great size, great strength, still learning how to play, picks up the game of basketball later on in life.
Henley. Carter, extra pass, and Nelson couldn't hang on. And it goes back to Marquette, who has gotten great offense, led, of course, by Tyler Kolik.
Yeah, one of the best passers and the best vision in the country, especially in the Big East Conference. The next thing on the list is Tyler Kolik. We have to figure out how we're going to contain him, how we're going to guard him. And the games that they've struggled, you know, outside of Purdue, right? He had 22 points in the Purdue game. Was the games that Tyler Kolik has struggled. So if you can find a way, we're talking about Connecticut, or Providence, Butler, Seton Hall, the games where he wasn't at his best are the games they struggled.
Wiggles out of traffic and puts it in off the window. To your point, Tyler Kolik didn't have his best game against UConn, 7 points on 2 of 11. He had more turnovers than assists for the first time all year, and it was, coincidentally, Marquette's worst loss of the season. Trying to put that behind them now as they stare down the home stretch of the 2024 campaign.
Yeah, and he went through a stretch there, and it was odd because he and Cam Jones were at the same time, you know, kind of in the middle of the season. They lost Chase Ross and Sean Jones. They both went down with injuries, and Kolik and Jones both were struggling at the same time, which is not good for Marquette. Obviously, you don't want either of them struggling, but definitely not both all at once. And once Tyler found his groove again, obviously this team took off. Still waiting on Cam Jones, who I think is one of the better offensive players in the conference, to really hit his stride. He hasn't done that yet, and we talked to Coach Smart about that at the walkthrough today, of how much potential he still has to finish the season.
Last touch by Deshaun Nelson, so we'll stay here. Yeah, you asked Shaka Smart, is there one guy who you feel like could be that catalyst for a deep run in March that maybe most people around the country aren't talking about? He said it's Cam Jones as he drills a triple from the corner.
Right on time, Matt. And Cam, this is the worst three-point shooting season, a Big East season that he's having. Up to this point, only shooting 30%. He's a career 38 guy. And Coach Smart said he's putting a lot of pressure on himself and to maybe do a little too much. Just needs to relax and play in the flow.
Kolik threads it into Joplin on a string. Tyler Kolik with 5 assists.
Special delivery from Mr. Kolik.
Zips it out to Jones. That's a 3. Timeout, Matt Brady. You think the goal, regardless of how that play ends, He takes a seat with 7 of his team's 8 assists already, and we're not even 7 minutes into the game. Marquette on an 18-2 run.
And what's fun about him, Matt, is he makes you a better shooter with the pass. You know, putting it in the pocket, on time, on target. Something that you teach, you emphasize, but his ability to do it is special.
Jeremiah Odom doubled. Ball was deflected by Chase Ross. Here's Elijah Fisher. Oh, sent away. David Joplin with the rejection.
And you know what's interesting about this Marquette team, Matt, is on paper, they're better defensively than they were last year with Omax Prosper. You see David Joplin there with the block. And Cam Jones with the bucket, but it's one of the really impressive things that Coach Smart and his staff has done is improve their defense in spite of the loss of one of the best defensive players in the Big East Conference from last season in Omax.
And, of course, no Sean Jones either, Coach. And he has been a defensive stopper in his career at Marquette, out for the season with an ACL. But they are connected defensively tonight.
Tremendous job by Joplin here. Verticality, hands up, and you see Cam Jones, a bucket getter, doing what he does with the counter move on the drop step. Who says the guards don't know how to operate down there in the paint, Matt?
Well, he's 4 for 4 to start with 12 points. As Carter tries a 3. Etienne draws a foul on Ben Gold.
And you just mentioned it, Matt. 4 for 4 Cam Jones to start the game. Coach Smart said to him at shoot-around, I don't care if you go 0 for 10. Right, step up and shoot the ball with confidence. And when you hear that as a player, it gives you such a confidence that your coach believes in you that much and wants you to be aggressive. And you see the start that he's having here tonight.
Fisher stolen away by Ben Gold. Here comes Trey Norman. Did any coach ever tell you about, I don't care if you go 0 for 10.
Well, they didn't have to. I had that already locked into my mind. It was the reverse. Hey, would you calm down a little bit? I would tell Coach, hey, you know, I can make that.
Now on Chase Ross. All Marquette early. They are 10 for 16 from the floor, assisting on 8 of 10 made field goals.
To be able to take away some of the cuts. But when I asked Shaka at shoot-around, Matt, how do you handle a loss like Connecticut? It happens to the best of us. Right? You just go in and you run into a buzzsaw. Do you just ball up the box score, throw it in the trash and move on? Do you lose your mind the next day in film session? How do you particularly handle it? He said, no, we address it like we address every after-action review. You see a foul committed there on the Marquette defense, and then he said, Matt,
Cam Jones ran into the tunnel. We'll keep an eye on that. He has been terrific to start the game. 12 points on 4 of 4, and he is already back on the bench.
Very good. There's the 2-man game. I know what. Maybe the best 2-man game, certainly in the Big East, but in the country, is Kolek and Hoso Iguodala. Those two in the pick and roll with their ability to pass, they feed off each other. It's like they always know where the other one's going to go.
Chase Ross all the way. I want you to finish your point, though, because we were talking to Shaka about what do you do after a loss like the one they took at UConn, the worst loss of the season.
And he addressed it, and then at the shoot-around, you heard him telling the team they were loose. I want you loose. But we have to be focused. Loose is fine, but we have to be detail-oriented. So the timeout huddle, the urgency that they have right now, it's all about the details and their focus level to get back to what they know they can be.
Out of bounds, it'll stay here with the Golden Eagles, who have just swarmed Laval, doing what they do best, turning defense to offense.
It is. The deflections, the steals. And this man right here, Chase Ross, an integral part of their defense, one of the best defenders in the Big East Conference, one of the most versatile defenders. When they lost him, Matt, is when they dropped a couple games. He went out with the shoulder injury against Seton Hall. They lost that game. They lost to Butler. And really missed his value on that end of the floor.
3 of their 4 Big East losses have come when they have not had a full deck. In terms of players available.
They have an energy tonight that I don't know if you can feel on the TV screen, but they're playing like this is a top 10 matchup. Obviously, it's on the rebound game. They didn't feel like they were the best version of themselves in stores, but my goodness, they have a high energy level here to start this game.
Carter calls a timeout. Depaul on the wrong end of a 28-6 run. And, look
unscathed from an injury standpoint. This season, not as much as they've lost a guy here or there for some period of time. Stevie Mitchell out with the hamstring, right? And then losing Sean Jones with their better defenders, Chase Ross. So this is their first time working through that with this group who was pretty much the same group from last year.
DeAndre Young out of the timeout. And that's the first field goal since the 17-22 mark for the Blue Demons. Previously 0 for the last 7. And a foul against Depaul. And it goes against Chico Carter, his second.
And give Depaul credit. They're not taking any possessions off, Matt. Obviously, they haven't been sharp on the offensive end. They've already committed, 9 turnovers here, but they're still playing with energy. They're still playing with effort.
Trey Norman puts it off the window. Carter was fouled on the drive. That's the 15th foul on Marquette.
And I think where this DePaul team can really make some gains here to get that breakthrough they're looking for is on the offensive glass. They've got size and athleticism to be able to challenge. Go get some second shots and try to find some easy ones on putbacks.
Young reloads and puts it in from downtown. Back-to-back buckets for the JUCO transfer.
Without KT Ramey, DeAndre Young's found himself in the lineup with some opportunity here and taking advantage of it.
Zigataro is about as money as you can get in the paint from that close with the hook shot.
Yeah, he has that kind of half-hook floating shot. If you remember, I don't know if you remember this man, Antoine Jameson, back in the day from North Carolina, had that shot down pat.
And that is the 9th turnover on Depaul.
There's a couple bigs in the country that can make that little floater. KJ Adams from Kansas, right there in that mid-range logo area in the paint, also being one of those. Jalen Thomas from Butler can make that little shot. If you're playing now with so much pick and roll and you catch the ball on the pocket pass, playing through your bigs a lot, that shot is vital to a big guy's game now.
And he has become one of the best bigs in the country.
And right on cue from his partner pulling up top. That's a little higher percentage than the floater.
Just slightly. Comes out and defends on the perimeter, but was tagged with a foul. So versatile is Oso Ighodaro, but when it comes down to it, there might not be a better receiver to throw a lob to than number 13 against Xavier. That's sort of, what do you call those? It's me or you.
Me or you.
Making the NCAA tournament. And then, of course, St. John's, who just picked up a win against Georgetown. They, too, control their own destiny a little bit. Not on that graphic. Currently on the outside looking in.
And the team with the best, a great opportunity here down the stretch. Maybe the best is Villanova, Matt, because 4 out of their last 5 games are all against They got Connecticut, Providence, Seton Hall, and Creighton. So they have plenty of opportunity to get themselves and control their own destiny to try to get in. It's that time of year.
It is. And in this league, there are a number of teams that are sort of hovering around that 11 seed line or deeper. Last 4 in, first 4 out. Should make for an exciting end. No question. Over these last couple of weeks. Iguodaro, second effort. Kolek already has 10 assists, no points. But he is 5 assists shy of a career high.
You could make an argument, Matt, and I don't know who you would say that. I don't know if Tyler Kolek wins Big East Player of the Year, but in terms of most valuable to their team, I mean, he's right up there.
Jeremiah Odin on the score sheet with his first 3 of the game.
And Odin handled himself well in the midst of Deshaun Nelson getting into the starting lineup and him coming out. You have to have some maturity to be able to handle that. This Blue Demon squad right now is, as Matt Brady said to us at shoot around, Matt, if we could throw the ball to us more than the other team, then we have a shot to be competitive. And when you look up right now, obviously, they have 6 made field goals and 9 turnovers, so they have to be able to take care of the basketball.
And 14 of Marquette's 37 points have come off those 9 turnovers.
Also missed the signature. I rarely see him miss that floater.
Henley takes it himself, counted in the foul. Jaden Henley, the Minnesota transfer, has scored in double figures in 3 of the last 4 games and has a chance at a 3-piece.
And a nice job by Henley avoiding the rotation there from David Joplin and with the Euro step and finishing underneath. And you said it, Matt. He had 15 points in the UConn game. I know that the score wasn't, but he's a guy that has the tools. We've had a couple of their games earlier in the season. He's got the skill set, the size and versatility. Hadn't quite put it all together. Has maybe a little more on his shoulders than he needs with all the injuries, but he's a talented young man.
And now Depaul goes zone here, which in the first meeting against Marquette slowed things down a little bit for the Golden Eagles.
And Coach Smart addressed that at the shoot around about staying aggressive against the zone.
Boss can't corral, instead it's Henley. Oh, great feed inside to Odin. And can't get the finish.
And Odin put the ball on the deck when he didn't need to.
Oh, hammer time, Chase Ross. One-hand jam.
And this was the other thing Coach Brady talked to us about, was just sprinting back, regardless of the missed shot turnover, getting themselves back in transition. And obviously, Marquette takes advantage of that in a hurry if you do not have the discipline to get yourself back in transition. Watch how quick Jeremiah Odin under the basket. Kind of jogs, and Chase Ross is on the sprint.
But LaValle, how about the setup by the big man, Oso Iguodaro? He can shoot, pass, defend.
No, it's tremendous.
So versatile.
Tremendous with his versatility. There's times when you'll see this Marquette team invert and set a ball screen for Oso as the ball handler, invert the pick and roll. Had a big play at Butler with that action late. Tyler Kolek screening for Oso to drive and lay the ball in. His skill set makes it fun to coach because you can tinker with a number of different things because he's so versatile.
Good start here for Jaden Henley. 11 points, 3 of 3 from the floor, 5 of 5 from the free throw line. A bright spot for them offensively, back-to-back games. 15 points in each of the last 2. Ross, leaner won't go. Iguodaro banks in off the window.
And there's that shot that, again, patented. and you have to be in the gym and spend countless. You know, he's not a jump shooter. He can't shoot the jump shot as a big, but that particular float game he has down pat.
Carter trying to get it to Henley. Instead, it's the 10th turnover. And Ross takes it all the way again.
And this has become the Chase Ross highlight package.
And for Depaul, Jaden Henley is just putting his head down and going. He has 13 of the team's 25 points.
Yeah, he had 15 in that last outing against Providence. Again, he's got the athleticism, has the skill set. And Churchill Abbas does not have that skill set yet.
Chico Carter ended up on his backside.
And you see Churchill tapping himself on the chest, my bad. Matt, when you get those out, you have outlet guys and you have bust-out guys. The bust-out guys are allowed to take the ball and dribble up the court. The outlet guys pass it to the bust-out guys. Churchill needs to be an outlet guy. Everybody has their role.
Carter, second chance, draws a foul on Zayd Lowry. And that is the 9th on Marquette, who has had some monstrous jams by Chase Ross. Looking healthy.
Has found a way to take the things that we want to be about and that we want to profess as who we are and put a metric on them and then hold the players accountable to going after it and pursuing it each and every time. Not just in the games, when they practice. If you come to the practice of a Marquette practice, there is a deflection board. There is an EGB count on the board. They count contested shots. They count shots at the rim. They do not want teams getting to the rim. So everything that they want to be about, they chart it, they track it, and then they communicate it with their players.
They even track daps. How many times teammates dap each other up, give each other a high five after a good play? Kolek on the scorer's sheet. His first points. It's a 3 to go along with 10 assists in the first half.
Do acknowledgements count? Kolek acknowledged the pass there.
I think that counts
as an EGB.
If it doesn't, we'll have to petition Shaka after the game. Picked off by Mitchell. Kolek zips it to Jones. Back-to-back threes for Marquette. And 11 assists rather for Tyler Kolek.
And what makes Tyler Kolek, so special? He understands the game as a coach. He understands how important Cam Jones' confidence is. Each and every opportunity he can find him, he's looking for him.
Churchill Abbas is shaken out, grabbing his left ankle. Mitchell still leads the 2 for David Joplin. And they have just blitzed Depaul to start. 13 Depaul turnovers have led to 21 Marquette points.
And one of the other things, Matt, is finding a way to motivate your team. Coach Smart had on the board at shoot-around DePaul's last 6 game scores, and the game that they scored the most points in the last 6 was against this Marquette team. They had 73, and he revealed that to his team, saying, hey, they play better than us than anybody else they played against recently. We've got to set a tone here tonight.
This is the DePaul team that was in the game against Providence in their last time out. They trailed by 4. Then it swelled to 22, ultimately falling by 11. They have been competitive during stretches of many of their Big East games, just haven't been able to put together a full 40. Tonight, though, it has been all Marquette since the start. And a rebound by Oso Iguodaro.
Yeah, Churchill Abbas is really laboring to get out set screens and get up and down the court. You've got to get him out and take a look at what's going on with his lower leg area.
Looked like the DePaul defense fell asleep a little bit there, watching Cam Jones pirouette the sideline. Zip it into Stevie Mitchell. Oh, another rejection by Iguodaro. Here comes Kolek 3-on-1. Give him 12 assists.
And this one's out of hand. Not early, but Churchill Abbas is just struggling to move around.
Fisher stripped by Mitchell. Jones, back to Kolek, back to Mitchell. 13 assists for Tyler Kolek, and a game-high 17 points for Cam Jones.
That was a kill. You heard the fans in the back chanting, kill, kill, kill. 3 stops in a row defensively counts as a kill. And you know you have a culture when the fans have embraced the things that are important to the team and the program.
Picked off by Mitchell. This Marquette team scored 55 points total, but no rebounds. And he said, yeah, the triple-double's out the window.
Now, you watch, he'll probably go and try to get 7 or 8 rebounds before Coach Smart takes him out of the game, just because that's the way Tyler's wired to compete.
Yes.
And you love that about him. You know, they take on the personality of their coach, Coach Smart. Ultra competitive, respectful and honorable in the way he does it, but super competitive.
Well, there's a little bit of a cockiness to him, an edge, and Shaka Smart says that's when Tyler Kolek is at his best. There was a stretch this season, back-to-back losses, including that Butler loss at home, where Tyler Kolek didn't have that edge. And he refocused, got clarity on who he is for this team, and he has been a different player over the recent stretch, including 8 wins in their last 9 games.
David Johnson recovering with the block. Has that. He's been challenged defensively by people outside the program, by the coaches in-house. Losing Omax to be a better defender. All of these Marquette players need that edge, and Coach Smart tries to provide that for them. And you can't help but have it coming off the game against UConn that they just came off the
Cam Jones, 20 points, including 4 threes. Double figures now in 5 straight games. You talked about the struggles from 3 in league play. Hasn't been that way in the last 5 games. Shooting above 45% over this 5-game stretch. Here he is again. Got it from downtown.
And again, Kolek's awareness of the situation is impressive to know, hey, Cam Jones has it rolling. We all know he can get heated up. He had 31 against Georgetown, made 7 threes. But his teammates know, and especially Tyler Kolek, understands the situation at hand and just makes the right play.
Henley off the bounce into a basket. And he lost it out of bounds. Back to Marquette.
And Kolek's awareness, knowing Cam Jones just made one. He's had the hot hand all night. Let me find my partner. I'll get another assist and he'll get another bucket.
Oh, they're going to count that. Give Kolek the hockey assist there. Oso Iguodala the actual assist. And Cam Jones, 25 points on 9 of 11.
And the passing and the cutting. And that's one of the strengths of this Marquette offense is the cutting. Doesn't get talked. Everybody talks about the 2-man game and Kolek and Oso. The off-the-ball movement and cutting is tremendous from this offense. And the way they space the court and read and react.
Good feed inside to Carter. He missed both attempts. 3rd opportunity goes down.
3rd time's a charm.
He has struggled a little bit tonight shooting the basketball. Of course, coming back from that cracked rib, which isn't totally 100%. But still getting his legs and his game shape under him. After missing a month. Elijah Fisher leaves it short. Ball on the deck, scooped up by Iguodala. Kolek to Mitchell. And he took too many rolls, giving it back to Depaul. Marquette tonight has assisted on 21 of 28 made field goals. They share the ball so well. Laval, they're incredibly unselfish with the basketball.
And it starts with your point guard. When you know if you give the ball up, you'll get it back and find you. It's a culture that's created. Again, Coach Smart and his staff. And it starts in recruiting, to be quite honest with you, Matt. The recruiting process, Coach Smart just refuses to compromise in terms of their culture and who they want in the program and the type of unselfish young men, team guys that they want to be a part of building with.
It's part of why we haven't seen them go to the portal, because they've been so intentional about making sure that the person that comes to Marquette is the right fit with the pieces they have here. Cam Jones is the right man to take the shot tonight. That's 28 and 6 made threes.
That guy fits in a lot of places.
Henley left open. Jones, 3-point shy of tying his career high as Mitchell pays off the home run pass. Tyler Kolek threading it to him, and a timeout taken by Matt Brady.
Everyone in the building knows who's hot right now.
Cam Jones 3 points away from tying his career high with 31. It has been the Cam Jones, Tyler Kolek, Oso Ighodaro show, and Stevie Mitchell has gotten in there as well with 5 steals to go along with double-digit scoring.
And look, when you talk about the ceiling for this Marquette team, Matt, it is maybe not Cam Jones playing like this, but a version of this where he's confident, he's aggressive, he's making shots. Like when they're at their best, you've got Joplin and Jones making shots.
We're going to take another quick timeout because we're at the under-16 media. We'll be right back in a couple of minutes here in Milwaukee.
Connecticut game, Coach Brady saying you have to take care of the basketball. Down Jalen Terry, so you only have one primary ball handler, Chico Carter, who's not really a point guard, but the consistency of level of engagement from Marquette. They have not let up off of the gas. They have a mat at their shoot-around that they put a logo on from the other team that says step on their throats, and they pull it out to remind themselves, Matt, to not let up off the glass when you have an opponent down. Let's finish the job, and they're certainly playing with that mentality here tonight.
Oh, big-time lob. Kolek to Chase Ross. Absolute rainbow pass from Tyler Kolek, who now has a new career-high 16 assists.
Well-designed set there coming out of the timeout, and that was kind of like a quarterback putting the ball where only his receiver could get it, Matt. I mean, that was the only place it could go for Chase Ross to complete the play.
For 2.
It's just not much resistance right now for the Golden Eagles. They're obviously completely different than what they saw when they were in stores.
44 of their 76 points have come in the paint. And they've also shot at 45% from distance with 10 threes. Well, it's time now for the Old Trapper Smoking Player of the Game, sponsored by Old Trapper. What's your beef? Tyler Kolek with a new career high 16 assists. Laval, he had 10 or 13 in the first half.
So you're saying he's slacking here in the second and he only has 3?
There's still a lot of time left. A lot of time left. Tyler Kolek now is 1 assist shy of tying Tony Miller's school record. Set in 1995 against Memphis. He'll head to the bench, at least for now, with a big old smile on his face. 22 assists is the Big East record, which, depending on how long the head coach decides to keep him in, we might see a couple of records fall tonight.
Right now, Oso Ighodaro taking over the point guard responsibilities. We may see Tyler one more time before he gets the curtain call.
Henley, through traffic, draws a foul, and it goes against Trey Norman. Fifth on Marquette.
Very, very difficult for Depaul. You know, the mid-season coaching change. Players staying engaged, having the injuries, a lot of adversity to work through. And to be honest, you know, without Jalen Terry, the one guy that's been a part of the program for 3 years now and is having some form of leadership on the court, from a guy that has some pride, program pride. You know, really hurts to have him out.
The same could be said for KT Raymond, who had been playing really well over the last couple of times out. Of course, he missed the Providence game, a game in which Depaul was within 4 at the half. Ultimately fell by 11. So second straight game without Ramey. Jalen Terry, of course, missed much of the beginning of the season, which frankly sort of set the tone for what has been a consistent theme for Depaul this year, which is not being at full strength. And it has not allowed them to be their most competitive selves in Big East play. Henley had a tap by Norman. Stripped up by Zane Lowry, a pair of freshmen on the floor here for Marquette. And Norman takes it all the way, a former top 100 recruit in his first season in a Marquette uniform.
And I was at practice earlier this fall, Matt, seeing Trey Norman, Zane Lowry, some of their younger players who you knew wouldn't get as many minutes early in the season because Marquette has so much returning, but man, they show a lot of promise.
Hey, Keandre Young's had a nice evening. 7 points on 3 of 4. Hasn't gotten a ton of playing time this year. The JUCO transfer in his first season. He too has dealt with injuries. And Ighodaro, there it is again. He makes his day in the paint.
For people at home watching right now, pay attention to the fact that Oso Ighodaro literally is right now the point guard with Tyler Kolek out. Obviously, Sean Jones's loss, I don't think we talk about enough, because he gave Tyler Kolek some relief, right? They could play them together to move Tyler Kolek off the ball with Sean Jones. Kolek could take a rest. Sean Jones really impacted winning on both sides of the ball. So the backup point guard right now is Oso Ighodaro. And it's impressive that he has the confidence and the ability to be able to do that.
Al Amadou checks in for the first time tonight. Ross swatted away by Keandre Young. So we're getting a look here at the future of Marquette basketball with 3 true freshmen on the floor. And Chase Ross, a sophomore. A rejection. Ball will stay here. 17 on the timer.
And this is how Coach Shaka Smart wants to build this program, Matt. Now, obviously, in the world that we're living in now, in the landscape of college athletics with transfer portal and NIL, coaches around the country are trying to figure out the best way to strategize to build. And Coach Smart wants to do it through high school players and development and retention.
I'd say it's working out pretty well. Marquette leading 84.
Timeout. The character of their program, right? And you could always judge when a team has a big lead, or when the low to no minutes guys got in late in the game, how they played. You could always see what they emphasize as a program. If those guys played the right way, played with the right energy, And this team has a high level of character. Obviously, when you got 81% of your roster returning, and you're third in the country in, returning minutes and plays, you should have a maturity about you, and they certainly do.
And one of those players returning is the reigning Big East Player of the Year.
That certainly helps.
It helps. And tonight he has 16 assists, which ties Doc Rivers for second all-time in a single game. Meanwhile, Keandre Young now in double figures with 10. Of course, Doc Rivers now the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, who play in this building.
And they got a pretty good point guard, too.
They certainly do. And they are also on a roll again this year under Doc Rivers. You see his jersey hanging in the rafters from his days as a Marquette player, returning back to Milwaukee, to what folks in this area hope will lead them to another championship.
Depaul right now, it's just about he's taking care of the basketball. You see another turnover there, and see if we turn this into some points.
Mitchell fighting for the board, instead in the hands of Carter. Home run pass to Henley, and he's able to keep it in bounds. When you look, Laval, at their tournament resume, Marquette, and you say probably not an opportunity for them to get a 1 seed, but they certainly need to hold serve. And the remaining schedule is one of the toughest in the Big East. Xavier twice, Providence at home, Creighton in Omaha, where the Blue Jays just beat UConn, and then one more date with the Huskies to close out the season. So it is a gauntlet of the schedule,
no question. And obviously Xavier going down tonight to Providence. So they have 2 opportunities against Marquette. They'll be salivating for those 2 games.
And they're basically must-win for Xavier.
No doubt at this point. No question. The rematch versus Connecticut will be right here. Pfizer will be rocking for that one.
That'll be on March 6th. It's already sold out. So is their game on Sunday against Xavier. There it is. Number 17 for Tyler Kolek. And it ties the school record set by Tony Miller in 1995.
And Tyler you just saw him say it side out one more. He understands. It's the thing you love about him, man. He understands the situation. When it's a big game, he's going to step up. He scores the ball. He may have 28 points that night. When Cam Jones is hot, he'll find him. He may just settle in and have 15 assists that night, but he knows the situation, and these fans know right now they want to see one more.
Lost it. Here comes Chico Carter. Full head of steam. Carter sent away. Joplin with the block. Henley with the putback. And Jaden Henley with 19 points on 6 of 10. And it's a new career high for the Minnesota transfer, as Cam Jones steps back and hits his 7th triple of the game.
I believe that's the 2nd time this season that he had 7 in the Georgetown game. And he has that ability. And here it is. This is going to be the touchdown pass for the assist. No.
Mac Etienne arguing with Lee Cassell. He thought he had all ball. Tyler Kolek, 1 assist shy of setting a school record for assists in a single game.
Only fitting that he gets it, right? I mean, obviously some tremendous point guards in the history of this program. What he's done the past 2 seasons.
He's setting it up already, Coach. He's telling guys how he's going to get it to him and how they're going to put it down. Kolek the inbound to Jones for number 18. Got it from downtown. Tyler Kolek, your new single-game assist record holder in Marquette history.
He's going one more back to Cam Jones.
Through the legs. Jones at 3.
this place would have exploded.
Jaden Henley is shaken up for Depaul, gripping his left hamstring. Lee Cassell blows the whistle, a foul on the other end. And a standing ovation for Tyler Kolek.
A well-organized inbound play from Coach Kolek there. And look at that kid. You know he's competitive. He knew the number. Talk about a competitor.
I mean, this guy was bred for competition. His dad was a terrific player in his own right, Kevin, a 2,000-point scorer at Southeastern Massachusetts and a two-time Little Big East Player of the Year. And I think his dad probably still thinks he can get him in one-on-one a couple of times. But Tyler Kolek gets that competitive fire from his dad, Kevin. And it has been a perfect blend, Coach, between Tyler Kolek coming over from George Mason after his freshman year and an uber competitive head coach in Shaka Smart.
No doubt about it. And they fit like hand in glove. Just the chip on the shoulder when you think about Shaka and the VCU team, the Final Four run that he had there. You know, huge chip on the shoulder, underdog mindset, overlooked maybe, and bringing in Tyler Kolek, walking this journey with him, saying, hey, this is a program that deserves to be back in front of the Big East, and no one thinks that I'll be able to do it, you'll be able to do it, and those two forever bonded together. You know, you think about the great coach players, you know, when you think Tom Izzo, Mateen Cleaves, you think Jay Wright and Ryan Arcidiacono, you know, there's just always this link to a head coach, and especially with point guard, when you revitalize a situation, right?
And there's a lot of folks around here that are hoping Tyler Kolek and company can lead Marquette to a place they haven't been since 2012-2013. That's the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. The last coach to do it here was Buzz Williams. And it just doesn't seem right for a program with such rich tradition. It tells you how hard it is to get to that second weekend.
You got to get the right matchup. You got to play well at the right time, and we've seen it happen over and over again. You just don't play your best.
Well, Marquette has played their best tonight, 95 points. And there they are sitting on the bench, sandwiching David Joplin, last year's 6th man of the year. Now his first season as a starter, and he has been terrific as well as of late.
Cam Jones still apologizes for missing the between the legs pass. And Tyler dropped it back.
Oh, Zane Lowry hammered by Mac Etienne. And there's a little chippiness here with Al Amadou. And now the officials are going to get in here. Ron Groover, Lee Cassell, Clarence Armstrong may have to go check the monitor to see if there was some.
And it's the velocity and the arm wrapped around. Is it a basketball play? And when you look at that, and I think there was a knee in the midsection, so just an out of control play by Etienne. So good judgment by the officials. And you don't want something to escalate a situation here, especially in a game like this where the result is pretty much a matter of time.
It is a Marquette team that, you know, at one point, Laval, in early January, when they lost those back-to-back games, including a home loss to Butler. It was their first home loss since 2022 in league play. Folks around town were starting to get a little nervous. The wheels were shaking a little bit for this Marquette team. Then they rattled off 8 in a row. And after this win tonight, it'll be 9 of the last 10.
Yeah, and listen, and Tyler Kolek didn't play well in that game. There was no Sean Jones in that game, nor Chase Ross in that game. So they were adjusting. Again, man, they didn't have this last season. And I think this is what made UConn you know, what makes UConn when you look at, hey, can you win without
a
player? They've had to do without Stephon Castle. They had to do without Donovan Clingan. They've had to do without Experiment. Marquette had to adjust without Sean Jones, Chase Ross. They had not had Stevie Mitchell. Something that was, again, they didn't have that last season. So they made the adjustments and went on the run. Tyler Kolek realized, hey, I have to step up and be the Big East Player of the Year night in, night out. And David Joplin stepped his game up during that stretch as well, and so it's part of the journey of a season.
Do you think the ability to win without is a good indicator for who might go deep in March, who might be a real national championship contender?
Well, I do, and I say that because someone may get in foul trouble. So have you experienced playing? If Tyler Kolek gets in foul trouble, has Marquette experienced playing without him on the court for extended periods of time? Right. So when you have, unfortunately, due to injury, you have that experience, and now players have a reference point, and coaches have a reference point of what we want to run and what we want to do.
Well, Tyler Kolek tonight played like the reigning Big East Player of the Year. He is on your top 5 list. If the season were to end today, of who might be a Big East Player of the Year.
And this is maybe up for debate, but Tristan Newton, I would say right now today would be the front runner, best player on the best team in the conference. Ryan Kalkbrenner, because of the two-way factor and the Creighton, the season Creighton's having, you look at him and you look at Tyler Kolek, obviously the last 8-game stretch has been amazing. He's been unbelievable tonight. Devin Carter is the sleeper on that list, and probably not a sleeper, Matt, but my goodness, I love Devin Carter's ability, just competitive leader, and now the offensive explosion that he's shown this season. Providence continues to move up in the Big East rankings. Devin Carter may jump to the top of that list.
I think there's a real argument for Devin Carter, particularly given what happened with Providence this year. Losing Bryce Hopkins, an all-league player, an all-American caliber player, and yet Providence still in the NCAA tournament conversation. Won tonight at Xavier, Laval. Huge win in Cincinnati. Devin Carter's stat line, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists.
He's been phenomenal. And in the loss of, again, they had to adjust with losing Bryce Hopkins.
Yep.
And kind of recentering themselves, reorganizing how their offense is going to be structured, defensively what they need to do to account for, his rebounding and his physicality. And Devin Carter's picked up the slack and then some.
Now I'm going to play devil's advocate. Baylor Shireman. Let me make a case for Baylor. Top 5 in the league in scoring and three-point shooting. Leads the league in rebounding and minutes played for a team that is squarely in the NCAA tournament and just beat the #1 team in the country for the first time in program history.
No question, he's had an unbelievable season.
Come on, argue with that a little bit.
Here would be my argument. Okay. I think they could win without him. I don't think they could win without Ryan Kalkbrenner.
Interesting.
On the court.
So that goes into your
similar
determination.
They've had to play without everyone UConn has except Tristan Newton. So when you look at it and say, hey, could that guy miss some time and they still be somewhat at the level that they are without him? My answer to that is no for those first two guys. How's that?
I like it. Chase Ross a little bit shaken up after the made bucket by Chico Carter. He has been this team's leading scorer this year and was really starting to get going when he had that rib injury. And this is a guy, too, Laval, that he underwent a major knee surgery in the offseason. Put on 20 pounds after the surgery and had to work really hard to shed all that weight, get back into game shape, and then this year deals with the cracked rib, misses a month of the season, and that in a nutshell has been Depaul's year, and frankly, it's been their last 2 years in Chicago.
And I thought last season in particular, they had, enough talent. David Johnson, Emoji Gibson, Nick Ongenda, they just weren't healthy all at the same time, which is unfortunate. And that injury bug can get you. Experienced that ourselves at Butler when we were there. So something that you can't control. This year, obviously dealing with it once again.
Elijah Fisher has been to the free throw line 4 times or 5 times tonight. 3 of those coming in the last 5 minutes. He's 9 for 9 from the stripe. Make it 10 for 10, and he's got 17 points. Texas Tech transfer. He came to college early. Forgoed his senior year of high school, reclassified. And so really, he's still the age of many freshmen on the floor. And for the first time since 2019, Marquette has cracked 100.
With the future on the court, with Trey Norman, Chase Ross, you look out there right now and say, hey, here's what Marquette would look like next season. With Ben Gold and Al Amadou on the court, talented young players, and the good thing for Shaka Smart and his staff is they've gotten experience. Kolek and Oso's leadership, and the way that they protect this culture all season long for the past 2 seasons for Ross and Gold. And it'll be upon this group to carry that on moving forward. Obviously, once this season ends and Coach Shaka Smart said to them today, if we're lucky, we'll get to play 15 more games.
And he said that after the team did a shooting competition. Half the team went to one side of the floor, the other half went to the other. And it goes back to that conversation about culture. Very highly competitive culture here. You would have thought the winning team from that drill had just won an actual game. And Coach Smart said, if we play another 15 games, whoever wins that shooting drill at the end of those 15 shoot-arounds will get a barbecue at the Smart household.
I might want to show up.
Players like that.
Join in, Coach's beautiful wife, Maya. See if she can, what kind of skills Coach has on that grill.
Rebound hauled in by one of the freshmen, Zayd Lowry. Well, the interesting thing, too, Laval, is that a number of these guys who are on the bench now, the starters, have eligibility to come back next year, including Cam Jones. Oso Ighodaro does as well, but his pro prospects continue to rise. Expected to be a first-round pick. As Chase Ross drills a 3, he's only a sophomore. Fully expect him to be back next year in a Marquette uniform. So not only will they have these freshmen and sophomores, but possibly some upperclassmen returning as well.
You hear the fans getting excited. We're in the kill zone, Matt. If they can get this stop, that will be 3 in a row.
And there it is.
The bench. When you have your fan base programmed to the things that are important to winning, not the highlight dunks and the flashy assists from Tyler Kolek, which are fun to watch, but kills 3 stops in a row matters in terms of, as it relates to winning. Deflections, fan base is being educated.
And the bench. You know, the guys that start and that play the majority of the minutes, up off their feet, watching their teammates. Also, Ighodaro just took a seat, so did Cam Jones, but they've been standing for the last 60 seconds, rooting on their underclassmen teammates. Lowry a 3. We will take our final break of the night here in Milwaukee. Marquette tops the 100-point mark for the first time since 2019, thanks in large part to the play of the reigning Big East. History from those Black Fives teams around the country.
Brought the showmanship to the game of basketball. If you do some research and study the Black Five, something that I was educated on later on in life. Play in ballrooms a lot of times after the club event was over, and
well, the
Savoy
entertained. Big Five did just that. They played in the largest ballroom in North America at that time.
And they would have a party in the event, and then if the game was boring, people would leave, so they had to play an entertaining style of basketball to keep people around. Now you see Tyler Cole throwing no-look passes. Where do you think that came from?
Tyler Kolek will lead this Marquette team into a gauntlet of the schedule to close out Big East play. I would argue the toughest schedule in the Big East upcoming for Marquette. They will take on Xavier twice, a desperate team. Right now on the outside looking in, particularly after a loss to Providence. They'll have Creighton in Omaha. They'll have UConn at home. And they will also get Providence at home, a team right now projected by Mike DeCourcy on the 11 line in the NCAA tournament. Buckle up.
It will be down the stretch here in the Big East. I mean, put your seatbelts on. There's 3 locks to get into the NCAA tournament. UConn, Marquette, and Creighton. And everyone else is battling to see if we can get 5, maybe even 6 teams in. Right now, Butler last, 4. Seton Hall, Providence, all battling. Xavier could still make a run. Villanova could still make a run at it. When we get to New York for the Big East tournament, Matt, it is going to be wild.
What's your gut tell you? Does the Big East get 6 teams into the big dance?
I think 5 heading into New York, and depending on if someone wins a couple games and makes a run, there could be a 6th. I like where, obviously I like, it's the net, you look at the net rankings, and I don't love the net, but there's 3 teams right now, Providence, Seton Hall, and Butler, all with a 60-plus net. Now, Providence will get a bump because they got a road victory tonight, but no team in the last 3 years in the Power Conference above 47 in the net has gotten in, so still work to be done.
The beauty of this league for those teams that are hanging around the bubble or just out is that you virtually every night have an opportunity to boost your resume.
Plenty of opportunity. Obviously, Seton Hall has a win against this Marquette team and against Connecticut. Those are 2 huge wins. Butler's got a road win at Creighton and a road win here at Marquette. That's absolutely huge for your resume.
Well, Marquette takes care of business from start to finish. 34-point margin of victory, ties their largest ever in a Big East matchup, led by Tyler Cole.